The end of an era, more like the correction of an error. Hey there, so today we are returning to that wonderful world of comic books to talk about something that is correcting the course of one company, but probably too little too late. Now this is the cancellation of an SJW imprint, and if you don't know anything about comic books, that's okay. You've come to the right place to talk about this stuff, because we'll talk about what IDW is here. That would be the mothership of Black Crown, which is a social justice imprint, and why this stuff is failing and spectacularly. Before we do this, however, if you do like this kind of content and you want to help out the channel, check out the links in the description. One of those is the Case of the Littlest Umbrella, and this is our initial offering in comics. This is the way that we go out and we about face when it comes to an industry that told us we weren't welcome. They wanted to have Black Crown. They wanted to have all of this other tripe and garbage. Well, that's okay. We went out, we did our own thing, and if you want to support that, well, stay tuned to the end of the video. So, Black Crown, what is it? Well, first of all, you have to understand the company that it's attached to, IDW. IDW is the fourth largest publisher of comic books, and well, for about 2 decades, they did spectacularly. Then, in the last 2.5 years, everything has fallen apart. And when I say fallen apart, I'm talking a disaster. 2 years ago, or 2017, we see the company lose around $700,000. Entire year, that's their profits, negative $700,000. 2018, negative $36 million. This year, they're at negative $9.323 million. This is a company that's worth about $16 million. These are the numbers right here. They're their numbers. And if you go through and you look at their spreadsheets, you can see exactly how much of this comes from comic books. What's insane about these layouts, too, is the fact that you see companies that are bleeding money. I mean, they are hemorrhaging it, and yet they don't want to correct these issues. What they do is they tell consumers, hey, why don't you go away? Hey, we need to offer you certain types of imprints, and that stuff is things that people do not want. For example, here, you see 2019, you see IDW Publication, or P here, you see that they've lost $4.335 million. That's what the brackets mean there. They mean losses. That's a 71.2% increase in loss from last year. And well, it includes games to the total of about $680,000. And the rest of that is publication. The rest is comic books. That's how much money they're hemorrhaging. Now, part of that was this, the Black Crown label. And the Black Crown label, it was a bring-over event. Now, Shelley Bond, you can see her name listed here. She was formerly of DC Vertigo, back when DC Vertigo was actually popular. And DC Vertigo, it was popular for about 26 years. When she came over, she showcased that she did not know how to run a commodity correctly. In fact, she was thinking that she would be selling 1 to 500,000 copies of stuff because she had never gone out and actually been tested in independent markets. In fact, I had a source talk to me about Shelley Bond and about this imprint, and some of the stuff that I heard was insane. I heard stories that were verified, mind you, about bullying and browbeating, about people not being credited for work, about change-ups, and more importantly, about social justice, about how labels were basically set up because people thought that social justice, that was going to bring in an audience, and these folks, they were out confirming their own biases. Now, if you think about that in business, it doesn't work out at all, and here we are. So Bleeding Cool notes, they've been hearings for some times. There were issues between comic book publisher IDW, their imprint Black Crown, run by former DC Vertigo Shelley Bond, and for another month, IDW solicitations did not contain any mention of Black Crown titles. Their most recent publication title, Eve Stranger, is delayed. Issue 3 came out in August, but issue 4 and 5 were scheduled for October 23rd and 30th, respectively. There were no Black Crown titles listed in October, November, or December solicitations. It was also telling that the Kickstarter funded Hey Amateur Comic Anthology does not mention if IDW is publishing it, only that they published the last such funded volume. So when you look at that, you can see this disconnect here. You can see everything falling apart, and it tells you. And now the solicitation cancellations are arriving. Diamond Comic Distributors reported that Maryland Manor, the presidential punkster comic book series by Mags Visaggio, and For Black Crown is having all of their orders for issues 2 through 4 and the collected trade paperback canceled. The first issue arrived in June to very strong critical acclaim, but for now, this will be all she wrote. Strong critical acclaim. Isn't that always an interesting way of putting this? Oh, well, the critics loved it. Why did the critics love it? Well, probably for reasons that audiences won't buy it. Because it likes to take to the soapbox, because it likes to showcase a specific finger. And when I say finger, I'm not talking about drinking fancy tea, getting married to anybody out there, saying, yo, dude, when I point towards you or giving you the thumbs up. Yeah, that only leaves one. And well, you're giving it right to your wallet if you buy this crap. Recently, let's see who this is. Rich Johnston talked to Shelley Bond, and they said, Black Crown will evolve and continue to evolve to reach its readers, wherever they may be hiding. Well, they're definitely hiding out there. It's really hard to find a lot of these titles. And what's funny about that, too, is you used to be able to find them when this first started up, because publishers, they were able to sneak stuff in that couldn't sell at comic shops. Now there are a few comic shops that will stock this stuff, but by and large, go out and try to find something from them. If you don't find it in a quarter box, well, you probably won't find it there, period. But right now, the focus is shifting away from monthly comics, but Evie Stranger will conclude as planned, and all existing books will remain supported by IDW. Regarding Hey Amateur, we're following the successful business model that was put out by their last offering in front of new readers. So if you look at how that was crowdfunded, yeah, you can see exactly how that comes together. Now, Bleeding Cool contributor here, now at IDW, they told them this as well. We're deeply appreciative of all the hard work that Mags Visaggio and other people, including Shelley here, have dedicated to Maryland Manor, and the enthusiasm and support from fans. Unfortunately, and with heavy hearts, we are canceling the project. We hope to have the opportunity to work with such talented creators in future projects. And regarding Black Crown, working with Shelley Bond on the Black Crown line has been a fantastic experience for everyone involved. This, of course, is a byline here because you know that this isn't true. Like I said, I talked to a source. I talked to them for 4 hours about stuff because there was so much craziness there. And this stuff, like I said, I saw receipts. The only reason that we don't have an insane expose is because it would burn their career down. But then again, I guess with all this stuff going away, maybe they'll flag that as okay anyway. But continuing this statement, her trademark enthusiasm and fierce dedication is evident in every captivating page of the Black Crown Library, which will remain available to intrepid readers for years to come. While the current roster of Black Crown titles have come to a close, we wish Shelley great success on her exciting new ventures like Hey Amateur Comic Anthology, which IDW will proudly serve as publisher of its soft cover edition. So you think about that. I mean, you think about what they're offering here. And look at these titles. Would you want to spend $4 on it? Because for myself, I wouldn't want to. I looked at some of the early titles, and the only reason I picked them up was to see how bad they were. And let me tell you, they were bad. When we get into their very first offering, for example, the one by Tess Fowler, who is somebody that also doesn't believe in marketing to consumers, that believes in talking to people like garbage and on. Yeah, They had things that you probably wouldn't want in your entertainment. You know, your character going out and sleeping with family members, them basically trying to promote anything but escapism. Yeah, it wasn't very fun at all. You also have other offerings out there, you know, from people that have told you that if you vote a specific way, well, you're just like the people that go in and shoot up schools. I mean, fun time stuff. Fun time indeed. So, what's the point in all of this? It's to tell you that when you're putting together projects, maybe remember who you're putting them together for. And if you're only putting them together for yourself, well, don't expect to have sales. I mean, in this setup anyhow, having a imprint like Black Crown think that they were going to move 100,000 units, that's absurd. You have people, again, that are so detached from the reality of comic books. They bring in people, they offer them the world, and of course, their projects fail. They fail and they fail terribly. Meanwhile, you have people out there that are talented, that can move comic books. But you know what? They don't have the right mentality. They don't have the right sales to the right people. So, of course, they don't bring them in. So, when we're looking at this, you know, we have it again talking about the end of an era. No, I believe in comic books that this is a correction of an error. I think we're seeing companies that are trying to right their proverbial ships, but they're not willing to go far enough. I mean, if they really wanted to, they need to bring in people that can sell comics. And again, too little, too late. But anyhow, you tell me what you think about this stuff. So as stated at the beginning of the video, if you like this kind of content, you want to help the channel out, and also want to be able to enjoy escapism and send a message, well, check out things like The Case of the Littlest Umbrella. This is an all-ages Lovecraftian book, all ages meaning for everyone, plus 2 tales attached to this, and another comic to boot. Make sure that you check out the tiers that are associated with that. It's in demand. We won't be around forever. Also, leave your comments, pro and con on this. Are you surprised what we're looking at with IDW or Black Crown? And are you surprised too that these folks, they can't get the memo? You know, like folks like myself, we have no marketing help, and yet look where we are. We're actually able to go out to communicate with you because we respect you as consumers. These folks, they haven't picked that up. Ending this too, I want to thank you for showing up. You make endeavors possible. I mean, that's the thing that these folks, they need to get through their heads. You make this stuff work. And well, without you, yeah, it falls by the wayside. So anyhow, thank you. I appreciate you. We'll talk about this stuff again very soon.